Cheers. Hello, I'm Sam. I'm not.
So it is important.
Search it yourself. I'm not Google.
Hello.
Hi.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for these days everyone is talking about investing, especially in corporate bond.
So it is important.
Yeah, financial markets make money from people who have it to companies that need it, that helps the economy grow, and many people like bonds because they are more stable than stocks.
So what is the corporate bond exactly?
Search it yourself. I'm not Google.
So basically, I lend money to a company, they pay me interest, and I get money back at the end. So company don't give up ownership like stock, and investor can earn fixed income. Bonds are issued in the primary market and trade in the secondary market.
Exactly, it's always trade-off, risk and return.
Wow, even more confused.
Yeah.
I think I need other experts.
We are investment advisors.
Oh yes, I hope you could have answered a few questions about the benefits and risks of investing in corporate bonds.
The first benefit is stable and predictable income. When you purchase a bond, the interest rate or the coupon rate is determined from the beginning. The companies usually pay interest predictably, normally in 6 or once a year. So you almost know exactly when you will receive the payment and how much you will receive. Compared with the government bond, the corporate bonds usually offer higher yields. So plus because corporate bonds carry slightly higher risk, so investors receive an additional return called a risk premium, basically a reward for taking on that extra risk. Another reason many investors they choose bonds is a capital preservation. If the company operates normally and does not default, then at the due date, the issuer will repay the full principal amount to the investor. Also, the bondholder have an advantage called priority in liquidity. If the company runs into a serious financial trouble and has to liquidate its assets, bondholders are paid before the shareholders. In investing, people usually say don't put all the eggs in one packet. So, for example, you could invest in bonds issued by companies in different sectors, such as technology, energy, or healthcare to reduce this risk if one industry performs poorly. So, bonds help diversify your portfolio and reduce the overall fluctuation. So, because bonds are generally more stable than stocks, combining the two can create a more balanced investment portfolio. Many corporate bonds can be liquidity in the secondary market, which means you don't necessarily have to hold them until the due date. If you need a cash or want to adjust your investment portfolio, you can sell the bond before the maturity date.
I only heard about the benefits. What about the risk?
Now I will tell you guys about the risk of investment in bond. So the big risk is credit risk, also known as default risk. When you buy a corporate bond, you are basically lending money to a company. If the company profit decline, cash flow become weak, or the economy slows down, the firm may not be able to pay interest or repay the principal at maturity. For example, imagine you invest in bonds by a real estate company. If the property market freezes and project cannot be solved, so then the company may struggle to generate enough cash to meet its debt obligation. So at that moment, what once seemed like a stable income, investment may suddenly become a financial red flag, right? So another important risk is interest rate risk. Bond price and market interest rate usually move on opposite direction. When market rate increase, existing bond with lower coupon rates become less attractive, which leads to a decline in their market value. So to sell your bond, you may have to offer it at a discounted rate, a price, and so that new investor can earn a competitive yield. And liquidity risk is another factor investors should consider. Not all corporate bonds are actively traded in secondary market. If you need cash urgently, it may be difficult to find a buyer quickly. In some cases, investors are forced to sell at a lower price and then bonds fair value. And this situation often occurs with bonds issued by smaller firms or during periods of market uncertainty.
So it is like posting online but nobody else see it?
Exactly. Sometimes the problem is not you, the market is simply ignoring you. So inflation risk also affects corporate bond investor. Most bonds provide fixed interest payments, If the overall price level rise faster than the bond's yield, the real purchasing power of the income received will decline. For example, you earn a nominal return of 6% per year, but inflation increased to 8%. So although you still receive interest payment, but your real return become negative.
So you receive money that you still feel poor?
Yes. So finally, last but not least, there is information risk. Sometimes we can call it re-evaluation risk. Investors usually rely on financial statement and credit rating to assess a company's credit growth rate. However, firms always possesses more internal information than outside investors, and this creates that what is known as information asymmetry. If negative information become public after investment is made, the market may reassess the firm's risk level and causing bond price to fall significantly.
Like thinking someone is a green flag, then suddenly a false risk.
Yes, exactly. In investing, you should always conduct careful research before making a commitment.
So your final decision is?
My decision is not invest. Yes, I will learn more.